Yeah, we're live. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to a live session on open source mentorship. What is open source mentorship? We'll discuss that. And let me also introduce, two very amazing young people who are taking a lot of responsibility of giving shape to this project called open source mentorship. Guys, why don't you introduce yourself? Ritisha, why don't you go first?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ritisha and I'm from Bhopal. I am a climate and gender researcher, and I just graduated from my university, Christ University. I did my BSc Economics, Mathematics, and Statistics. I also completed my Enterprise Risk Management Level 1 from Indian Risk Management, Institute of Risk Management. And my talk on SCM youth has been published, which talks about correlation between gender equality and CO2 emissions. So that's about me.
Excellent. Thank you, Ritisha. Yashmit, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I am Yashmit Sehgal and I am currently a law student in NIT Mumbai. And I've been Saurabh's mentee for the past 4+ years, and I've done a lot of work under him, including publishing research papers and even a talk on YouTube on the right to wealth. And it's been an amazing journey under sir, and I'm just happy to be part of this project.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for being here. Let me also introduce myself a little bit for those who are joining this live stream for the first time or have stumbled upon my channel for the first time. My name is Saurabh Nanda, and I'm a youth mentor and a career consultant. I've been working in this domain for more than 12 years. Before this, I used to be a software engineer. And that's when I decided, it kind of happened that I understood that whatever I'm doing is not something that is very fulfilling for me. I can do much more. And that's when my journey into career consulting and youth mentorship started. To be honest, I never really thought that I'll be a career consultant or a youth mentor. But it so happened that once I delved into it, once I started understanding what careers are, how career decisions are made, and once we created a very, strong, very, very reliable career consulting process, we also realized that just career consulting doesn't help. After you give the advice, then we saw that a lot of people are not able to follow the advice for whatever reasons. So that's when we automatically got into, okay, let's also help them through this entire process. That's when the entire youth mentorship process started emerging, and now we have a very reliable, very robust youth mentorship framework as well. I have been mentoring a lot of young people like Yashmit and Ritisha in middle school, in high school, in universities, in master's programs, young professionals and experienced professionals, from almost all kinds of disciplines, disciplines such as law, such as engineering, medicine, economics, business studies, sustainability, climate change, gender inequality, history, and so on. So how can one person do all this? That's a very valid question. It's just that I'm a very, very curious person, so I keep myself updated a lot, and I always want to do new projects, and mentorship helps me, vicariously live through my mentees and being able to create a lot of impact in their lives, and also do something worthwhile for the planet. So let me just quickly share my screen and tell you guys what we are going to do and why the need for this platform arose. So just give me a second. My iPad takes some time. Sometimes it also has a very unique personality and character. I think all of our gadgets do after some time. The name of this new channel, this new platform, is Open Source Mentorship. Why is it open source mentorship? Because so far, whoever I've mentored, they have come from very good schools and universities. having excellent infrastructure, having students who are very, very self-aware or very knowledgeable, very motivated to do things. But the challenge is not everyone gets access to just, such universities and such schools in India or across the world. I've mentored a lot of young people across the world. I think 30 countries and counting now. Again, whether they come from Africa or Europe or Australia or wherever, they all come from, I would say, above average universities or above average high schools, where they knew that such a thing exists, that a mentor is available for them to do projects on ideas that they are very passionate about. But for some reason, the school or university is not able to provide that platform to them, or not able to provide such a mentorship process to them for whatever reason. In fact, I would like to know from both of you guys, what is something that you missed at school and university? And I know your schools and universities have been excellent, top of the notch in India. So what are some of the things that you missed during your studies? Yashmit, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I believe when it comes to schools, there are a lot of opportunities, but the thing is that we are not exposed to them in the school as much as I was under your mentorship. So I did not know that I could publish my own blogs on Medium and Youth Ki Awaaz, and I could conduct TEDx events. I could approach TEDx myself and apply for a TEDx event, or even for that matter, publish a talk on YouTube on my own under your channel. So the exposure which is given in school is good, in our schools is really good, but the extent to which we can actually go and explore our abilities was like under your mentorship. I think that was something fundamental to making my career choice which I have made today. So I believe that exposure is required, and because I didn't know that I could do all of these things. I didn't know that I could do so much research on so many different topics. And I believe that if I had not met you, I would not have done this. I would not have explored all these other things. So I believe that exposure was really helpful. Yeah.
Thank you, Yashmit. Thank you so much. Can you tell us when we started our journey and which university have you, taken your seat in currently?
So I believe I think I met you for the first time in my 9th standard, and 9th and 10th. I was very, very, I had so confused which stream to take, which career option to choose. And then I met you, and I think I met Pritesh sir as well. We had talk, and then I was finally got some clarity. Okay, I want to do law. And then I went ahead with law. And then in 11th, 12th, when I was in this dilemma कि law choose करके मैंने अच्छा काम किया नहीं किया. Then you told me to do some research on topics of law. So I then started research on copyright laws and IP laws. And I wrote a research paper on right to health. So after doing all this research, I realized that, okay, yeah, I am interested into this. And this is this dilemma of should I go ahead with this or not, and leave it, kuch aur kar lete, science hi le lete, and all that. So, that was the dilemma which I faced. And I believe that if that guidance would not have been given to me, I would not be here. And I'm right now in National University, Mumbai, and I would not have been here if it were not for the guidance and the direction. I needed that direction in life, actually, because I was really confused. This dilemma कि science ही ले लेते हैं, because everybody is like law कौन करता है and all that. So I believe that was something very fundamental. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for clarifying all that, Yashmit, and thank you so much for your generous and kind words. Ritisha, what about you?
So I met Saurabh sir a year ago, and it was my third year in my college and my bachelor's, and I was very confused on what to do, how to do it, how to make it. And being an ambitious person myself, I did have the idea of where I want to go, but I didn't know how to. And that's when Saurabh sir came in and helped a lot with the research part. I never knew exactly what Yashmit said. I never knew I could write those research papers on any topic that I liked, and I was aware of it and I liked it. So that was it. And then another thing that I really liked about the mentorship was that it was very personalized. It wasn't just what the universities were telling us to do. Like in general, this is the advice that okay, if you want to go here, go do this, do that. This is the process, and you'll make it. But every person, I believe, has a very dynamic personality and interest. So it can't be generalized, and it can't be just you know so it's very customized and personalized. So it was a very nice opportunity that I got.
Thank you so much, Ritisha. And what are your future plans?
Future plans are that I'm going to do my master's in finance, MSc finance, and before that I'm still doing an internship which is related to climate finance. And I'm very passionate about it. And then again, I'm still thinking about doing CFA. So that's going on.
Excellent. Now, I would like you both to tell me one by one. You have mentioned something that you are going to talk on SEM Youth on YouTube or something like that. What is SEM Youth? What did you talk about? Why was it important?
So
Okay,
I believe yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So for me, SEM Youth was another platform, which is again a youth platform where a lot of amazing mentors, experienced mentors from different walks of life came in and mentored a group of small people who are very passionate, self-driven, um, who want to make a good change in this world. And I was very fortunate to be a part of that small group. And then after that mentorship, we had to talk about something we were passionate about, and that's how we published our videos on that platform.
And what did you talk about? I missed that, I think.
Yeah, I talked about the correlation between gender equality and CO2 emissions.
Really? Carbon dioxide is related to gender inequality? How, Ritisha? How is it possible?
So it's related because there is most men in the decision-making roles in the climate change organizations are men, 70% of them. And women are affected by climate change biologically, physically, everything. So even financially, economically. So all those aspects are covered in the video, and that's what I talk about.
Wow. A lot of you who are listening to this, who are watching this video, had you ever thought of such an idea? Had you ever thought that such a correlation might exist? You might have heard a lot of things about multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research and everything. This is exactly what it means. When you combine two seemingly unrelated areas and find at the correlation at the overlap of these two ideas, what is coming out, because that is the kind of solution that we need. Yashmit, what about you?
So I believe that the tagline of SEM Youth was young people who will create the future we should have. So that actually is apt for the whole SEM Youth platform, because there are so many people, like so many like-minded people. I mean, Ritisha's topic on like climate change and gender injustice and all that's the connections between two seemingly unrelated topics was amazing. And the ideas the people had, the research they had done on in SEM Youth was like, it was out of the world, I would say. And so young people, Zach was there. He's a kid essentially. And he's written 2 books. He's writing his, I think, published his 3rd book as well. Topics like nano catalyst or the cheapest telescope and all that. So it was something. It was a platform for us to actually showcase the world. Okay, this is the research we have done, and this is what we are passionate about. And I spoke about the importance of a right to health in India and how it should be made a reality. And I believe for me, essentially, it was something to present to the world. This is an idea which exists, and if we are able to make this into reality, the lives of people could be improved in a way which we didn't think of before. So I believe that platform gave us the opportunity to, present our ideas to the world, essentially.
Wow. Again, so some of you who are watching this video, after the COVID pandemic, we've all lost someone, near and dear ones, right? And we all felt angry and hopeless and helpless. And it was not the fault of one government or one country or a few communities. No, it was not. It was the fault of the entire human civilization. We were all contributors to that. But after feeling helpless and hopeless, a lot of us did volunteer, and that is essential because that shows how human we are. But how many of us are still are looking for solutions that such a thing does not happen in the future? And if you want to find a solution to that, but you're not able to find that solution, Yashmit's research is the exact example of that. He's worked on a legal paper on why right to health needs to be there. Yashmit, can you tell us which countries are working on this?
Well, right now, Spain and Italy are, like, according to my research, Spain and Italy are the two best countries that worked on right to health. I mean, their healthcare system is amazingly well structured, and it is a system which actually prevented so many deaths during the pandemic. And I believe America is even working on that. So I believe we could replicate a system in India, and we could actually have a better system, because we do have a seminal healthcare system in India. We just need to make it more structured and well organized. So that is what we need.
Excellent. And if you remember, in 2020, in March, April, May, and June, when COVID just started in a way, the worst news used to come from Italy and Spain.
Yes.
The worst news used to come from Italy and Spain because so many people were affected. So because they went through the worst, is that the reason why they are working on a right to health kind of system?
I believe because the changes they have made in the system, the reimbursement processes, the quality, the tech of healthcare they have started in the previous, like, I believe from 2021, 2022 onwards, is a drastic change from what we have seen before. So I believe that is one of the reasons. And India has also gone through that. India has also gone through the same process. And we could also do something like that, because essentially Spain and Italy has GDPs which are kind of slower or similar to India. And we could actually put in more efforts, put in more money, and put in more infrastructure capabilities and make it even stronger. Make a system which is more robust, better, and organized.
Wow, amazing. Yashmit is 18 years old. How many of you who are 18 years old? And Ritisha just pointed that out, when she was 18 years old, she was very ambitious, but she didn't really know where to put all that energy into. How many 18-year-olds have this much knowledge about something so serious and so intense, something which can have a global impact? I know a lot of you want to have a global impact. I know a lot of you want to bring change to the status quo. And I know a lot of you don't just want to do what everyone else is doing. And let me ask both of you, have you, I'm sure that, you had reference models in your life that this senior of mine, this cousin of mine, this elder person who's doing wonderful in their life, successful, maybe they're a banker or engineer or doctor or whatever. But did you feel that, yes, that is all very good, but I don't want to do that. I want to do something else.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, I am a first-gen lawyer in my whole family. There's no lawyer. So yeah, but something like research is something which I did not have any knowledge about research, and I could publish in research papers, and there was no essential role model in my life. But when I got into this, when you told me to do some research, I realized that this is something I'm passionate about. I could actually go ahead with it. So I believe that is something worth mentioning.
For me, it was like I had people, I had cousins, I had family members who had made it and are very successful. But everybody had done engineering or like medical in their past, and I wasn't someone who was very like, I didn't want to, because everyone was doing it. Just not it wasn't about I wouldn't be able to do it. I had the like interest in PCM or that field, but I didn't take it up because I was not very intrigued by it, because everybody was doing it. It was like, okay, life's mediocre after you do that. So that's what my perception was.
So do you think, guys, that after, this entire exercise of mentorship that we have been through, you have in some way found a purpose for your life?
Yes, very
Yeah.
much so, because through this mentorship, I just was what Yashmit said. I didn't know what research can bring up, and I was always, if I look back, I always know that okay, I have been passionate about climate change. I have been passionate about gender equality, but I didn't know how to make that change, or how, if I will be able to go into it, or how will I be like, is there a path, is there um, a process? And through that, I could find an internship which was related to this. I am doing climate finance right now, and I'm very happy with it. So I intend to work on my passion and go ahead with it.
Yeah, I believe it is the same for me, because from that chaotic and state of disarray in my high school to the path I know where I'm going right now. It's been a journey, and I think I found the purpose. Okay, this is what I want to do in life, and these are the avenues I could go in. So I believe that I found that structure. That is true.
Excellent. So why do we need an open platform for mentorship? These are the reasons what Ritisha and Yashmit have experienced and are living right now. And that is why they have so generously volunteered. Yashmit has just entered into college, but still he manages to take out time to do this. Ritisha is actually doing a couple of internships in big organizations, global organizations, but still she takes out time to do this, because they know the importance of this. They know, they have seen many young people, many friends of theirs who are having the same kind of confusion, same kind of questions, but they don't know what to do about it. So this is what we are trying to do. There are a lot of youth in the world. In fact, if you take youth as people between the ages of 15 to 39, then there are close to 4 billion people in that age group. But if you consider youth even younger than that, maybe let's say 10 and above, then that number is around 55-60% of the world's population. So we have 55 to 60% of the world's population who can change the world. The world essentially belongs to the youth. But are we in control? When we see that the pollution continues and so on, let me share something very interesting with you. Recently came in discussion in our internal groups. A lot of Indian students who come from big cities in India, and all big cities in India are extremely polluted. They have to give a tuberculosis test in order to apply for a UK visa. If you want to go to the UK to study or whatever, you have to take a tuberculosis test. You know why they have to take it? Ritisha, you know the answer?
I'm not aware of the answer, but yeah, I mean, that happens. That is a fact.
So tuberculosis is not an epidemic in India anymore. All right. It happens to people, of course, just like it happens to other people across the world. But when you actually see the scans of our lungs of people who are living in big cities, you will see dark spots in the scans, which are similar to what tuberculosis does. What the authorities don't understand is it's not because of tuberculosis, it's because of pollution. And a lot of people don't really realize what is happening. So we are actually putting our young people who are supposed to be the future of the country and the world in a situation where they are already living lives as if they were living with tuberculosis, which is a deadly disease. At least it used to be a deadly disease, until the early 1900s. So this is what is happening, and the youth have no control over it. Do the youth have control over it?
They have control.
Yeah. Can we change? How can we change things?
There are a lot of things you can change.
How do we change them?
We change our perspective towards it. We become aware of it. That's the first thing.
Absolutely. So they, as Ritisha said, you do have control, because a lot of youth want to do a lot of things around this, but you have to change your perspective. First of all, you have to move away from what the entire world and the entire community is telling you to do. Go become a banker or work for a $1 trillion company, because then you're just working for them. You're not changing the world, essentially. Because you want to do something, you need certain guidance and mentorship in that. And that is why this platform is important. There is guidance which is available, but lack of relevant and customizable guidance is not available. For a lot of youth, in fact, most of the youth in the world, there is zero guidance available. Zero. Thanks to the pandemic, the internet has reached a lot of people who did not have access to it. People have become open to technology. So that is why we want to use technology which is available almost free of cost to us. We want to use YouTube. We want to use a Google Drive platform. We want to use platforms like Slack and WhatsApp to create a community of people who want to bring change, and they will get the right guidance in order to do that. All right. In that entire process, when they bring about change, they will get direction in their education and profession. They will learn how to go about doing research, because the world is a very complicated place currently. Unless and until you do research, you will not understand anything. You can follow all the opinion makers on social media, influencers and such. They are not necessarily giving you the information that you need to in order to bring change. You will build confidence in your expression, because confidence is a function, according to my frameworks. Confidence is a function of two things. Confidence comes from research or knowledge, and second is practice. If you have knowledge in a particular area, and if you practice talking about it again and again, you will get confidence. You will not be scared, even if you have to go and present at the UN General Assembly in New York one day, because you know exactly what you have to say. Nobody knows it better than you. So there is no lack of confidence then. How are we going to do this, guys? We are going to have regular YouTube live sessions on different topics. We are going to try and do it weekly or fortnightly. But what we are going to do is, what you have to do now is, you have to subscribe to Open Source Mentorship. This is a YouTube channel. There's an account on LinkedIn and Instagram. We will also share a WhatsApp link where you can click and join that WhatsApp group by the name of Open Source Mentorship, so that you're part of the group and you will get regular updates on what we are going to do. In Open Source Mentorship, we are going to talk about primarily two areas. One is mentorship, and the other is problem solving. All right, there are two parts that we're going to talk about on this live platform. Mentorship will talk about, solving your doubts. Sharing opportunities. Opportunities such as fellowships, what Ritisha was also talking about. There are a lot of platforms, internships, fellowships. A lot of governments across the world, Indian government and every department of Indian government keeps inviting young people to come and join them. All right. Even in the morning, I saw a similar opportunity. Then there are fellowship programs across the world, from the US, the UK, Japan, other countries in Europe, Australia, India, China, everywhere. All these different countries have fellowships for people from across the world, and no discrimination whatsoever, because they want young people to do something about it. I am part of at least 5 such organizations where I mentor people from across the world. We will keep on sharing these opportunities, because I alone cannot do it. Or, me with Ritisha and Yashmit and Mahesh, who's another member who will join us in future sessions, we cannot alone do it, but we can definitely provide the right platform for you to go around about it. Solving it out, sharing opportunities, building personal brands. All right. Whereas in problem solving, we will actually work on the problems that you want to solve and how to solve them. For example, guys, I mean, do let me know if there is a particular problem that is, stewing in your mind, which you always wanted to solve, but you've not gotten around it. We can probably do a live, discussion on it here also. Just let me know if you have something like that. Problem solving on how to approach a problem. Albert Einstein said that if he had 60 minutes to solve a particular problem, he would spend around 55 minutes just thinking about the problem. Most people think that it's about the solution. No, it's not about the solution. It's about understanding the problem. And most problems in the world, they can be broken down into smaller parts. So that big, huge problem that you're facing right now, break it down into smaller parts, and we will be able to solve those small parts one by one in order to tackle the entire big problem. So most people shy away from, wanting to do something about COVID or about climate change. Why? Because they think it's too big. How can I do it? Right? We will discuss how to approach a particular problem. You guys have any thoughts? Please share. All right. Okay. Awesome. Next is then how to research. So research, one thing is Google search, and a lot of young people today, they are fed up of the internet. They're fed up of Google search, actually. That is why, now the Chat GPT is a better search engine than Google. A lot of people have switched to Bing. My AI startup, we have our own, search engine also. We'll share the link. Go ahead, use it, guys. Till the time is free, go ahead, use it. So you will find exact answers over there as compared to Google, for sure. The other thing is, research doesn't really depend only on information. What it depends on is the right information, usable information. So first thing is to find the right information. Second thing is how to use that information. So we're going to talk about both. And the third thing is, whatever you have understood, then represent or express that knowledge or wisdom that you have gained. Research happens in building blocks, step by step. Understand this level, then understand the next level, then understand the next level. And one fine day, you realize that you've done so much research, you just have to compile it together to form a research paper. That is all. That is how it works. So we'll be sharing that with you. Of course, as I said, yes, I do understand a lot of different topics in the world I'm very passionate about, but I'm not the only one who's going to be talking about or mentoring youth over here as far as problem solving is concerned. I'm fortunate to have a good network of people like me, usually my age, who also want to mentor youth, who also have expertise in different areas, whether it is law, whether it is saving languages which are handwritten on parchments, or whether there are people who want to share knowledge about indigenous tribes and people, or space scientists, or cryptocurrency experts, blockchain experts, you name it. So I have a decent network on that. Geopolitics, I know some very good people. So those are the kind of people that we will be bringing in over here who want to volunteer and share with you any problem. So we'll be announcing it beforehand that this particular week we are inviting this particular person. We're going to talk about this particular problem and how to approach it. So please keep your questions ready for that, because we'll be taking live questions from YouTube itself. Let me quickly check if yeah. So we'll be taking live questions on YouTube for that. And you will then have more knowledge as to how to approach a particular problem, how to research about it. And then, yes, create solutions. Well, Ritisha pointed out a very important point, that the first thing that you need to do is create awareness, change your perspective. The first solution is always that. Once you change perspective of multiple people, then a lot of them will come together and they will try and form a tangible solution out of it. So you will see a lot of startups coming out of this. I've personally mentored, I don't know, around 50 startups so far. So recently, I'm talking to teams from Egypt and Morocco, and one of the teams is interested in creating a mobile application which will convert the sign language that a lot of deaf and mute and disabled people use into voice. And that app will convert voice into sign language, which can be understood by deaf and mute people. So is that a startup worth working on? Absolutely. We are mostly going to work on startups which are solving the world's problems. So they will all have a very strong flavor of SDGs in them. Obviously, just one YouTube live session is not going to change your life or change your perspective. You will need multiple inputs to that. And that is why we will create a process wherein you can join a group on something like Slack or some other platform, we'll see. And then there can be a separate channel created for that particular project, wherein you guys can ask questions. We can probably have separate mentorship sessions for that particular project and then bring it out for the world to see. So then the ultimate purpose is that all the young people who get mentored over here, they share their experiences, because, an older person like me talking just like I am talking right now doesn't change things. What does change things is when somebody like Ritisha and Yashmit, they talk about what they have done and how they have changed, their lives and others' lives for the better. Well, this always happens whenever I share my iPad screen. So I don't know whose number was that. Well, good luck to them. Okay, Yashmit, Ritisha, any last points that you would like to share?
Sir, I believe that this problem solving and changing perspective is something that's really important. And one fundamental key factor of this is to make our voices heard. We need to make other know that, okay, this is a problem which exists and we need to solve it. That is something that we should not be scared to share our opinion. We should be open to criticism and always be open to sharing our ideas. So that is something which I believe is fundamental.
Excellent.
And building on what Yashmit said, how will that come up? You'll have confidence once you have the awareness, the research, the knowledge, and the practice. So after that, you can share your opinions. You will not hesitate, and you will have the confidence and the self-confidence. Because personally, I was a person who was very scared who had stage fright and was very scared of speaking and everything. But today, I'm here, and it's been amazing. So I encourage that.
Excellent. Well, please subscribe to Open Source Mentorship. Feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube, even through your comments. And we would love to, because we're also doing this for the first time. In fact, I've been working with a lot of young people for many years now, but it never really occurred to me, till last month, that we should probably create something like this. Why it didn't occur to me is probably because I did not have a trigger. So what was the trigger? The trigger was last month, I was invited by my alma mater, National Institute of Technology, Jalandhar, to come and talk to the new batch of students who have joined in this year. And while I was talking, and because it's, it's not broadcasted live or anything, so you can be more natural, I guess. So I became really passionate. I just, went into that flow. The session was supposed to be 1.5 hours, but the professor said, no. Professor said, no, keep going. It is going very well. So a lot of question answers came. And I thought it was a very, nice session, and that's it. Goodbye. But then what happened was a lot of students who were there in that particular session. And a lot of other people who have been connected with me for many years, they all started sending me direct messages on social media. I shared some of them on in a post also recently that they want to work with me. And I was like, how can we do that? Because I'm already running 2 startups and, I do content also. This is the only way to create a platform, and we don't know where it will go, but I think something beautiful will come out of it. And that is how life works. So thank you so much for joining in today. Please spread the message. We'll also share it on our social media. Hope, you found value in today's session. Please give us your valuable feedback. We're going to put this is being live streamed on my channel, which is Saurabh Nanda, but we are going to we have recorded this video. We're going to edit it a little bit. And then we're also going to put it on the Open Source Mentorship YouTube channel soon. Thank you. Have a nice Sunday and keep thinking of how to solve problems of the world.